would like to teach how to make simple, very simple food, because I have a 22-year-old almost son, 22-year-old son. I do know how much time he has and how much he can do the cooking with all your AP and all your extra courses, extracurricular activities and all of that. Are you guys ready? Okay, okay, sounds good. So today I am doing two type of liquid diet for you guys. Very simple, because I don't want you guys to cook in my first class. So what I'm going to do is that simple mango lemonade on this hot summer day. Are you guys ready? And it is very, very simple, okay? If you have a mango or any fruit for that, today I'm demonstrating mango lemonade. I'm taking a fresh cut mango, and if you have a blueberry, if you have figs, whatever growing in your yard, you are in California here. California has many fruits, so you can use any of the fruit, okay? So I have about a cup and a half of mangoes, fresh mango. And then what I'm going to do is that I want you guys to experiment with spices. I'm adding 3 cardamom, the whole pots, okay? Cardamom is a very good, it increases the flavor of any kind of juice. More than that, it has many health benefits. It is known as mind calming, or people who are working like late nighters and all of that, when you don't have when you have a difficulty in falling asleep, cardamom helps you relax your nervous system. So I'm adding cardamom, and you might have already used, I'm adding a little bit of saffron. Saffron in summer is very cooling, and it is very good for the body, and a little bit of saffron, and I'm also adding a little bit of black pepper. Okay, so the pepper is the lemonade should be very good electrolyte for you. Okay, so and then what I'm going to do is that here I'm going to put a little bit of salt. As I told you, if I'm going to make this lemonade a very balanced electrolyte, then you need, of course, sodium, right? I'm going to add a little pinch of sodium in there. Okay, I'm going to add about 2 cups of water. Because I've been cooking for more than 30 years, I do know how much is 2 cups of water. For you guys, the beginners, you need to measure it. Please do measure. But for us, we are cooking every single day. We do know how much is 2 cups of water. So any questions for me?
So what was the benefit of adding the black pepper specifically? So I understood the salt, the other ones, but what was the specific benefit of adding the black pepper?
The black pepper is very good for our digestion. The black pepper is known for very, and also black pepper is a very good anti-inflammatory also. Okay, so during the summer, black pepper with all the other cooling spices balances the heat. Black pepper is heating for the body, but anti-inflammatory. It is good for the joints. It's good for many other health issues.
And is this for any particular, is it like for those who have more heat in the body or more, you know, like a watt in the body, like you were talking about different kind of nature, like?
Right now, when I'm doing this one, I'm not doing it for any type of body. I'm doing it for all. But when I'm preparing specifically for a kapha body type who wants to lose weight, who wants to any issue with any inflammation in the body, I do add pinch of black pepper in it. And then black pepper has very good quality. One more is that when you combine black pepper with a little bit of turmeric, absorption of turmeric, anti-inflammatory effect of turmeric is maximum when you mix it with black pepper or with fat.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
So as simple as that. Your meal is done.
And can the fruit, whichever one we're using, does it have to be fresh or frozen? What are the benefits of each or both?
always, fresh is always the best.
Mhm.
Second best is the frozen. The
Mhm.
third one is avoid is the canned. Never buy anything canned. If you can buy fresh, always very good with fruits. The second best is frozen because to keep the freshness of the fruit, they freeze it immediately after the harvest. So the nutrient, whether it's vitamins, are intact in a frozen one compared to anything else. Any questions for me? So now you just have to filter because you have all of this. You can easily filter. You can dilute it with water because I am adding it's a lemonade. It is not mango juice. So you can dilute it with as much as water, a couple more cups of water. Right now, the smell of mango combined with cardamom and saffron is amazing. I just want all of you to try it. So and now what I'm going to do is that I'm going to squeeze lemon in it. Okay.
Do you have to drink this at any particular time of the day, or any time of the day is fine?
Juice, if it is, it depending on what body type again. We don't drink it half an hour to 45 minutes before any meal time, because that will, that is, you have to make sure that you produce good amount of hydrochloric acid at the time, and you can digest the food that you are eating. So any juice, any water, anything, don't drink it half an hour to 45 minutes before a meal or after a meal. Like, yeah. So any other time you can do it.
Okay.
I'm going to add a little bit of agave syrup because I have added a pinch of salt. I have added lemon juice. I have added other spices. Now, as a sweetener, I'm going to add a little bit of agave syrup. What I want you to do is that a tablespoon of agave syrup is good enough. Okay? So now, I'm going to just put it in now.
So you don't add sugar, is it?
No. Mango is very sweet. And then I have added enough to balance the sour from the lemon juice.
Mm-hmm.
And then I added a little bit of salt, balance the salt. And then I have a very good, can you see all of you? It is 2 minutes and it's very refreshing and it is very tasty. Any questions for me about this? And this is mango, but I do weekly different juices. So you can, if you have a fig growing in your yard, you can substitute mango with fig. You can do it with blueberries. You can do it with, what else? You can do it with orange, any fruit for that matter.
So can you tell us, like, what are the nutritional elements in there, like how much is carb and protein, and these days, like, we look into the calories and fat and that kind of stuff?
Right now, I won't be able to tell you, but if I do the analysis later on, I can exactly tell you how much is the calcium, how much is the, each mango is 150 to 175 to 200 calories, because size is what is important. Okay. So based on that, so right now I have to measure everything, and then I can surely tell you, because I have added 1 tablespoon of agave syrup, and then I have added 1/4 teaspoon of salt in it, and then I can put together, calculate all the calories, and I'll be happy to let you know exactly 1 cup or 8 ounce. 1 cup is usually 8 ounce, a small cup is how much calorie counting. We can surely do that, but my practice is mainly is that how it is beneficial for you, whether the mango fruit itself, I did not remove any pulp. I just used the whole mango and I added all the other ingredients that are beneficial for you, which is mind calming, grounding, nourishing. At the same time, not just cooling, it balancing with a little bit of pepper. So that is very nutritious for growing kids. And more than that, the kids don't have the full kitchen available wherever they are. And then in the beginning, when they are trying their cooking in the beginning, they are not interested in doing elaborate cooking demonstration. They can do it within 5-10 minutes and be done with it. So for them, at our clinic, we also teach instant pot, how they can make one pot dish with balanced carb, protein, and all the vegetables and spices. For summer, different spices, winter, different spices, and so that it is balancing. We also do that. So with that, I wanted to keep very simple recipe for kids today.
Yeah, thank you. That helps. Thank you.
And the next one I'm going to do is that smoothie. Okay, everybody is into smoothie. And then what I see with even my kid is that the younger generation are into more protein because they are into, like, I see is that no carbohydrate in their diet, always constantly thinking about what is the protein in my diet today for this meal, next meal and all, because they are into either bodybuilding or they want to look, all of that. But I am keep telling all of you that protein is important, but with protein, you also need a balanced meal. If you take a plate, your dinner plate or lunch plate or a meal plate, it should have one portion, should be a smaller portion is fine, but small portion of a carbohydrate, and the quarter portion should be of protein, and 2 portions should be vegetables. Focus should always be on vegetable more than the protein. Protein we don't need that much protein that we focus in this country on. But if you divide the plate into 4 components, 1 should be carbohydrate, 1 should be protein, 2 should be vegetables. That's a balanced meal for overall health. Okay, so the next one I'm going to do is very simple. Almond milk is what I'm going to use because I don't use dairy at all at home, or maybe a teaspoon per day maximum. So I will use regular unsweetened 2 cups of almond milk is what I used. Now, in this one, the sweetener I'm going to use is, because I don't have any sweetener in this one, I'm going to use banana, 1 banana for 2 cups of almond milk, and I'm going to use quarter cup of blueberries, fresh blueberries. Okay, and then because, of course, you like the sweetener, right? I'm going to use 1 date. Date is amazing. Date is a nutrient rich. It's very good source of iron. It's very good source of chromium and other things. So, and it's also, if you look at the glycemic index, it's very low on glycemic index, about 45. So if at all you have to use any kind of sweetener when you're cooking, use the dates. It's the best. And I'm going to do a little bit of cinnamon. Cinnamon is heating for the body, but cinnamon is very good for your sugar metabolism. Cinnamon is amazing for heart health. I'm going to use quarter teaspoon of cinnamon, and I'm going to, of course, use turmeric. I don't have to talk about turmeric nowadays because it is in spice. Everybody is using turmeric. Everybody is overusing turmeric, to be honest with you. Sometimes if you use turmeric without precaution, turmeric can be harmful for your stomach. So use turmeric carefully. One more, of course, turmeric is anti-inflammatory. That is the main reason people are using it right now. But antiseptic and antibiotic too, naturally. Because in olden days in India, they didn't have any bandages or anything. When you have a cut or something, you will stuff it with turmeric so that it won't get infected. So that's how powerful it is. It is also anti-histamine. Before the allergy season hits, if you start include extra turmeric in your diet, it will really protect you from allergies. So the last ingredient that I'm going to use today is nutmeg. Okay, nutmeg is known as a sleep inducer or nerve calmer. So instead of taking sleeping pill and other things, nutmeg is very healthy for the body and for the mind. And what we are doing is that grating by the whole nutmeg and grate it. Once you grate it directly into your jar, you don't have to even wash it. You can see that I have grated about a small 1/8 of a teaspoon of the nutmeg into the jar. And your blender, your juicer is ready. So the smoothie is ready. So, any questions for me now?
Yes. So people talk about the benefits of drinking smoothies. There's a little bit of a pro and con to it sometimes, I've heard.
Of course.
Is there like fiber content wise, by blending it up, does that affect the fiber content at all, or the way that we digest it?
No. Fiber is still there. Fiber content is, you have to worry about when you do vegetable juice and when you filter it. I smashed it so much that the fiber is still there. When you remove the fiber, that is when the problem is. When you remove the fiber, filter it and throw the fiber out, then you are less in fiber. Right now, the blueberries and banana don't have that much of fiber compared to some of the vegetables,
So it just depends on the fruits that you use in your smoothie.
Correct.
Oh, got it.
Yeah.
I have another question. So typically in smoothies, a lot of people use protein powder to get, like, as you boost up their protein content. Do you recommend that, or do you recommend using alternative sources of protein, or what's the best way about that?
Sure. If you make this as a meal for you, if you are not eating anything with the meal, but just the smoothie as your meal, I've seen it with many of the younger generation, is that you make smoothie as a meal, complete meal. You know what I mean? When you are doing that, you do need your carbohydrate, your protein, and your vegetables and all of that, right? Or your fiber, to be honest. So if you are doing that, then please go ahead and add a healthier option that is available. Good organic, vegetarian source proteins are available. You can use that, but just don't depend on only protein. Make sure that you also add what we have added, like a small piece of date, or a little bit of blueberries, or a little bit of raspberries, blackberry, or any of the fruit that will go well, so that you will get your fiber, your bioflavonoids. If you read about blueberries, it's a high rich source of bioflavonoids, which is very good for heart health, which is very good for your cholesterol, many other things. Okay. So if you do that, then your meal is balanced. But if you are having other than it's a side dish, then you don't have to add protein in your smoothie. Okay, so if you are having a vegetarian meal or non-vegetarian meal, your protein is, you are getting it from your food. You don't have to drink it. Any questions for me?
I have noticed another thing where sometimes when I've seen people drink smoothies, they feel really hungry really quickly afterwards. Is that because they're not since they're drinking their food, they're not registering the content of it? Because I've heard that as well, where as if when you're bypassing the chewing, you fail to register that you've had a lot of food already.
Or more than that, it is like, how fast you digest that. But if you are adding in your smoothie some kind of protein, the protein will be digested. Protein takes about 2 to 3 hours, 3.5 hours to digest.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have protein, by the time it gets converted into converted into sugar and gets into your bloodstream, it takes about 3 hours. That will be in your system. If you just take only simple sugar, which is fruit smoothie, which will be digested within half an hour. If it is carbohydrate only, if it is plain carbohydrate or complex carbohydrate, it will take about 1 hour to 1.5 hours. If you have protein rich, it will take about 3 hours. But if it is fat rich, like in the keto diet, you add a little bit of ghee and or coconut oil in your coffee and you take a shot, that one, fat takes about 6 to 9 hours to digest. So it takes longest is the fat. So to answer your question, if it is protein-rich smoothie, you will not feel hungry very easily. But if it is a fruit-rich smoothie, then you do feel hungry very easily.
Okay, that makes sense. Thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions? So, and then I just want you guys to know is that college kids don't have a whole lot of kitchen or the kitchen space. You can have simple avocado, and then what I recommend is that just to cut an avocado, just scoop the inside, and you can just add a little bit of lemon juice and salt, and your guac is ready. And you can have it with, your other vegetables, or you can have it with chips, baked chips. You can keep adding things to the guac depending on your time. And then what you have, you can add a little bit of garlic powder, make it more garlic flavor. You can add a little bit of finely chopped onion or tomatoes and make it more complete guacamole. And then you can add a little bit of olive oil. That is, if you know your body type, and that will be more balancing for your body type. So what I want you guys is to experiment with the food and then play with it. And that's how you learn to know how to play and experiment, and then you know how to balance the taste.
So a lot of what you've explained so far has been orientated towards the older side of youth. What are some things that younger children, maybe within middle school, starting middle school and high school, what are some tips that they can take away from everything that you've explained so far? Like some after school snacks maybe, or some other things like that?
Sure, that'll be a very good question. Thank you so much, Kevin. What I would recommend is that the younger kids, the most of their diet is done by their parents. Yeah, that's they don't get to experiment with it. They are given food and they eat it. And as you grow older and you are a teenager and then into your college years, you are responsible for your food. That is the reason I chose something simple for the college kids or the high schoolers. But for the younger kids, if they want to experiment with food, I would say that simple as hummus. Have you tried, you guys, hummus? So hummus is an ideal snack for little kids if they don't mind. Hummus with vegetables, hummus with zucchini, or hummus with celery stick, or hummus on top of a very good sprouted bread, which is ideal for growing kids. Which is easy to digest, healthier. There are very amazing sprouted breads are available because hummus is garbanzo beans, and you can make it at home, which is very simple, like I had showed you, as simple as that. And then You can also do sunflower butter or almond butter more than, because people are into peanut butter because we are all used to the peanut butter. But the oil from almond butter is so healthy, so very good for growing kids with the essential oils and also the protein. So if they can add, instead of peanut butter, they can make sandwich out of almond butter would be ideal. And then there is one more thing that I would like the small young kids should be doing, is that adding a little bit of ghee on their food. You know what ghee means? Yeah. So the ghee in Ayurveda is used because it is like a catalyst. If you add a little bit of ghee on your food, your absorption of nutrient from that food is maximum. So what you can do is that even if you are making toast, make a nice toast, add a little on top of it, add a little bit of ghee. You absorb the nutrient from toast better when there is ghee on it. And it enhances the taste because it is nothing but oil of a butter. Oil tastes good, the butter tastes good, ghee tastes good. And then you can you can do it whether you are doing your pasta, you are doing it on your, put it on a little bit of rice, whatever food that you eat, you can add that ghee on your food, and which is simple. Middle schooler, of course, they live with their parents, and the most of the parents do have ghee on the kitchen counter. They can just go and add a little bit of ghee on their food with variety. Of course, there is cut fruits and all of that. We can surely talk about it. If you can avoid white sugar at very young age, very early age, that would be ideal for a middle schooler, because middle school is when I've seen kids are into sugar. Okay, they're not very young. Primary school where they listen to their parents, or they're not much older like high school or college kids. They're in between, because once you are in college and all, you have the image or the bodybuilding comes in, or looking good is more important than anything else. So people are aware of their food, what they eat. But the middle school is they are into taste. So they want, I've seen with ice cream and other things, if they can cut that down, I would really, it would be helpful.
So I have one question. Do you have any for
Go ahead, Manisha, right?
Do you have any recommendation for snacks? Like, because a lot of times these college kids and high school kids, they're like, running from class to class, and they grab something and they start eating just to fill their hunger. So do you have any recommendation where it can be a healthy snack but yet very good and easily available, and they can kind of just take it with them?
Oh, sure. So there are many things that are available, but many things are very simple, very sugary and all of that. That is what I don't recommend, because that can get them high easily, and then that can bring them down easily too. So anything that is protein rich, I would always recommend easy to have nuts and seeds handy. If you can make nut mix, that would be ideal. So not the nuts that I want you guys to avoid is that peanuts, peanuts, cashew, pistachio are the three things that I want you guys to avoid, and make others, whether it's almond, walnut, pecans, but kids don't want to have that eat. Adults are more into eating nuts, so kids are into having some nut bars. But the nut bars, if you look at it, it is chocolate, it is carob, or it is sugar is very high. And then what I would like, Manisha, is that I make my own nut bar with almonds and crushed almonds, hemp seed, flax seed, chia seed, and then crushed with dates and 1 tablespoon of ghee mixture, and it tastes very good. It is all natural, and if your kids can take it, it tastes amazing, but there is no added sugar or added chocolate or anything in that.
Oh, great. Thank you.
Welcome.
That's really nice.
And we just got a question in the chat. So it's from Adarsh. So breakfast is very important, but kids have a challenge with eating in the morning. What do you recommend?
The breakfast is very important, totally agree, because that is the first meal, or that is when that is said breaking the fast, right? That is called as breakfast. Is you are breaking the fast, you have eaten at night, in the morning, the growing kids do need breakfast. And then the Indian breakfasts are very elaborate, okay? So the best is, you want me to tell you whether it's an alternative than Indian breakfast, or you want to know a specific breakfast?
I think the nature of the question was more so, what are some things that you think, how can you encourage eating in the morning? Because obviously, yes, we know it's really important, but a lot of people have trouble with it. I think that's kind of the angle that the question's coming in.
Sure. Many kids or many adults are not hungry in the morning. Until they eat first meal, some of them are not hungry at all. So just to get going, morning is the cooler time, and then something that is warm than cold food is not recommended. Warm food is very easily digestible. So warm breakfast is, I would really recommend. But at the same time, many kids, what I've seen is that they don't like to sit and have that eat in the morning. So they would rather drink something, be out of home in the morning. So for them, in India, growing up, and also here, it's available. It is called as ragi malt. Ragi and other grains, what they've done is that they sprout it and they dry it and grind it. The powder is available at Indian store or other places, or you can make it very simple, combining. And you just take a tablespoon of it, mix it in water, and then cook it for 3-4 minutes, and then way to go. And you add agave or something, you can drink that. It is like a drink, but at the same time, it has a combining of all other mixture. You have a protein, carbohydrate, everything is ready. It's very simple, and I would really recommend kids of growing age should have breakfast, but their hunger is very low in the morning. They are hungry in the afternoon more so. But that is the reason, to make it easy, having a cup of this mixed mixed grains and lentil drink called as ragi and other grain malt would be ideal in the morning for kids. It is high source of iron. And also, ragi in India is used as a poor people grain. Okay, the reason is that the labor class in those days, if they eat rice, wheat, or any of the grain, they get hungry before their lunch. So ragi is known as, if they take ragi, they'll take from one meal to another easily. So I'm telling students is that a tablespoon of ragi mixed cooked in water for 2-3 minutes, which is less than 5 minutes, your breakfast is done, and you can just drink it and go.
Perfect.
One option other than all other Indian and cereal and other options. Yeah.
I think another thing on that same trend of breaking that fast. So what are your thoughts on diet trends like intermittent fasting?
It depends on what body type you are. Intermittent fast is very good. Okay. If you are a body type that is, in Ayurveda, call it Vata. What Vata means, that this hyperactive, irregular kid, or irregular person who doesn't have hunger on time. They are hungry one day for breakfast, they are not hungry next day. There is nothing regular about that person. They don't like the routine. They want new thing all the time. Or the person will go to the restaurant and order new things on the menu every single day, because been there, done that, cannot repeat the same thing again. That is that person. that person has a very variable hunger and very small hunger. You know what I mean? They cannot sit and have a big meal. They don't digest it at all, but they like to have small bites. For that person, intermittent fasting is not at all good because they cannot handle that. But a person who is kapha in Ayurveda can go without food for a long time and can look at food and then they can gain weight. They have a hard time falling, weight loss and other things. And they have the endurance, they have the muscle power. For that person, intermittent fasting is amazing. We do recommend intermittent fasting, but it is individualized.
Got it. Got it.
I guess I have a small question. So I guess with the COVID times, there's a lot of stress and also less active exercises that people can do. So how do you think we can change our eating habits during these times as opposed to times when there were less stress and more time to go outside and be active?
Thank you, Aditi, for that question. During the COVID, what I've seen is that people are homebound, and people, because there is COVID outside, people are worried about their health. They are boosting their immune system. What I've seen is that, how I can make myself strong so that I can, in case if I get COVID also, I can fight it better. So I'm surprised to see. And then because malls and theaters and everything is closed, people are into exercise and natural, nature activity. But to answer your question, if you can cut down on, because you are homebound right now, you are home 24 hours, you are not going to work, you are working from home or taking classes from home, then you are sitting around and doing in front of the computer is more, even for my work, which I'm in-person consultation is my job, but right now we are all doing online consultation. So for us, everybody is sitting in front of the computer for a long hours, which is not good for your health. And also to increase the stress from the COVID, always very, very, very important to add hot water in your diet. Drinking hot water throughout the day flushes out many chemicals and other things from the body. And drinking hot water doesn't cost anything to you. And it improves your digestion, it improves your metabolism. It is amazing. So what I would recommend is that during the COVID days, if you can add 5 to 6 cups of hot water in a day. You first time when you drink hot water, you might not like it because we are used to here drinking cold water, ice cold water. According to Ayurveda, you should be drinking hot water and should be taking cold shower. When you come out of the shower, you should be energetic, so not tired by taking hot shower for a long time. And taking the cold shower also is very good for your thyroid and other glands. I won't go in that, but you should be taking cold shower, and drinking water should be very hot. That improves your immune system also. So, and then the amount of food that you are eating regularly should be cut down at least to half or 3/4 of earlier your portion sizes. You don't need that much. And making sure that you take a good vitamin C or food rich in vitamin C, or making sure that your immune system is boosted throughout, and making sure that you take natural. What I mean is that anything that comes in nature, okay, as much as avoiding canned food or anything that is processed food, anything that is refined food, anything deep fried, all those things are damaging for your body. And then making sure that, one more thing that I want to make sure, that people should not be having rancid nuts and seeds. They are very harmful for the body at this stress time. Did I answer your question, Aditi?
Oh yeah, that was very helpful. Sorry about that. Yes.
Okay.
Perfect. And I think with that, we've wrapped up our Q&A session. Thank you so much to you, Gayatri, for all your recipes and your great advice. Thank you so much.